Yo there, hombre. It is time for the first castle event as part of this Divine Fest event, and this is going to be in the form of Divine Party Winter Sun. So the main reason that you'll want to be doing this castle event for most players is because the two epic dragons that are going to be in both castle events, so week 2 and week 4, are the dragons that we need to get Chrono Aphrodite. And this time around we have Prana available in this Divine Party Winter Sun castle event. So we will start off this right now. So how odd, a letter from that kooky old bat Hogwin. What could we want from, or what could he want from me? A research trip? He says he's heard rumours of a new divine dragon sighted in a village near Vicalandia, but why me? I'm no scholar. I guess if anything, it'd be an interesting trip, and maybe I could secure an alliance with a powerful new divine. Fine, curiosity wins, plus I know it would annoy Mother, and that's almost too good to pass up. Very good, I love you being petty there. But yes, we do have a castle event, 6 levels as we are used to from the past, and essentially if we want to move up on all the levels we need to get currency, which we can get from the quests at the bottom there, so collecting gold, collecting food, so we'll go do that in a second. But the 2 major rewards from this event are the level 6 reward being Prana, and then the other reward dragon is the Isis dragon. So Isis is a divine wind and fire dragon, but to get Isis you're going to need to open up every single chest in both of these castle events. So you basically have to like 100% clear out both events to get Isis, but Prana you just need to find the key on level 6. So if we get to level 1 here, happy now old man, I brought you to the village where that new divine dragon was sighted, so I'll be on my way. Wait, Eliza, if I may, your presence would be invaluable to me on this research trip. Not only are you familiar with this region, it also grant me valuable insight with your fantastic abilities. For instance, why the Isis dragon has insisted on accompanying us. Ugh, fine I guess, flattery will get you everywhere. But not even I could tell you what Isis dragon is thinking right now. It seems oddly moody. Please, YouTube, do not pick up the word Isis and just flag my video. I swear I'm only talking about the dragon. But anyway, let's take on the first boss fight of this castle event against Mr. Icefeather. If the game loads in, that is. I was hoping the Isis dragon would lead us to its fellow divine, but where is it taking us, I wonder?
Battle, I want to battle. Show me to a strong opponent or I shall be very cross.
Ha! I'd never pass up the chance to face down a divine, especially during such a momentous night. Seems like it wants to fight. I may not be a battle happy as some, but I'll never refuse an invitation to brawl. Interesting. So if you want to take on these battles, you are going to have to at least have an evenish team of dragons, otherwise you'll probably get destroyed. I'm okay with my dragons. Phew, you're tough. I don't suppose you're here for the night of the winter sun.
That is precisely why I've arrived. I don't often see the sun as you do, cooped up in the underworld ruins as I am.
A divine dragon breaking the mold? Now that's something you don't see very often. We welcome you, Dragon of Fate. Interesting. It looks like we got here just in time for some sort of celebration, and if the divines are involved, well, I feel some drama coming on. Oh, drama. Can you get enough? So we have played on this map before, I do recognise it, but I'm not sure which way is going to be the cheapest so far. But the main thing about castle events is that you want to find the key as soon as possible, which it is random in terms of which chest it's going to be in. Like, even if, say, someone you know found the key in this chest, doesn't mean you're going to find it there. So it is random for everyone. I guess I will take this middle path first, just because it was leading on from 13. And this welcomes us to our first proper restricted battle. And you'll see at the top it says you can only bring dragons with these elements, and it will show you which elements you can use. As we progress further in the event, you will not be allowed to use as many elements, and this is why having lots of dragons with unique elements is so important. Now, if you don't have every element available, sometimes you may have to go around, sometimes you may have to skip battles, but you need to work out whether the actual value is worth it or not for skipping. So keep that in mind. Another one here we can do, generally in the first 2 to 3 levels, there's quite a large selection of elements that you can use, but the further into the event that you go, the fewer elements there are that you will be able to use. So you have to keep that in mind when you're making a team. Even when you're making a dungeon team, you need a team that's both good in the dungeon, but also that has as many unique elements as possible, so that then you can do both castle events and you can do dungeon stuff. So that's why I do prioritize, you know, making a team and thinking about a team long and hard before you just go, yeah, I'm just gonna go use this thing, you know. I guess we'll go down for now. But the other part of castle events, of course, if you want to find the key as quickly as possible, is about going through the events and using the cheapest paths first. Since I don't believe the maps are out for this event yet, I won't be able to give those paths to you, so right now I'm just going in blind. So we may be going down the most expensive paths, we may not, but we did manage to find the key nice and early, so that was some really nice luck. Love it. I've spoken with the villagers. They're celebrating something called the Night of the Winter Sun, and it seems like local dragons join in the fun. How come I've never heard of it? And we're so close to Vicalandia too. Did they make up a new holiday while I've been away? Most curious. This certainly bears further examination.
It certainly does. You humans haven't been paying much attention, have you? At least the Elder is on the right track.
Okay, Isis. Okay. So now that we found that key, it does mean that we can move on to level 2, and we want that for every level. Like finding the key nice and early, getting on to the next level, because that will help you a lot. Because generally, we don't know for sure yet, but usually in these castle events, the higher the level that you're on, the more points that you can collect per quest. So we'll see if it's one of those types of castle events or not. Curious, most curious. What are you muttering about now? We appear to be lost.
There is no getting lost at a party. We are exactly where we need to be.
Yeah, I guess Isis is a bit of a coper. It's like, Isis, we are lost.
No, we definitely intended to be there.
Okay, Isis. And we're gonna face off against Mountain Lord now. A Mountain Lord dragon. We're saved.
Silly human. You were never in any trouble to begin with. Hello. I sense that some humans had gotten lost, but I see they're in good claws. Oh, Dragon of Fate. Their fate will be fortunate as long as they stay festive. Now, let's party.
Party. So yeah, we do have this random lore popping up. It's just party central over here.
What a rousing battle, I must ask.
However, oh Isis, where is your...
You must not ask. Thank you very much. Now we've got plenty more party guests to meet. We must be on our way.
Sheesh. Either the Isis dragon is more of a party animal than I thought, or it's hiding something. Hiding something, I wonder. Well, I hesitate to muddle with the divines unless I have due cause. Intriguing. So now we've got this level, and it does start to become very windy. You'll see that we've either got the choice of going to this right-hand side chest or continuing on the windy path of snakeage. So I think most of this level is just about, you know, hitting the first chest that you see, maybe skipping this one, and just going straight to the second chest. But again, since I don't have the maps, I can't confirm what the actual costs are right now, so I'm just going to go to the first one that I see, and then hopefully when the castle maps do come out, we'll be able to calc them quickly and work out which ones are the cheapest paths. Because again, getting those keys early will really help you. And now you'll see that we can only bring dragons with these selection of elements. So luckily, I've got dragons that have all of those, so that is very lucky. But as you get further on, you may only be allowed to use 2 elements per fight, and trust me, if you don't have a good selection of dragons available, sometimes you will not be able to do the fight. Unless you've got a lot of dragons at the same level that have all of the elements in the game, then you'll be fine. But most of us probably have a team of, say, 3 dragons, maybe up to 4 dragons, but, you know, that's why when you get to max level, max dragons, getting all of the elements in the game can be really handy. But using the currency that we have, that's as far as we can go right now. So we need to go and collect some more currency by doing these quests down here. So collecting gold should be pretty straightforward, and I guess I will activate my VIP now. I didn't activate it last week because I had no reason. So we'll collect this. So collecting gold, that will give us all of our points. Collecting food, generally during these events you can either use hour-long food or 6-hour food. Generally I go with 6-hour food, but why is the game not giving me any of my collecting food? There we go. I think their servers are dying a little bit, which kind of scares me. But 6-hour food means you'll keep in time with the reset timers, because the resets are every 6 hours, so keep that in mind. And then for breeding dragons, the best combo for this to get all the points that you need is breeding war dragons. So rather than us doing a duplicate breed, we are going to breed together a fire and metal dragon. But if the points go up in the event, this will change. But if we just breed this war dragon here, you'll see that we've got a 4-hour, 48-minute timer, and we get 200 points, which means that we can come back every 6 hours, rebreed that, and that still gives us enough points on the first few levels. And then feeding dragons, the best thing to do is to hatch a new dragon, like this harpy dragon here, place him, then feed him. So that way you waste the least amount of food, because obviously if you are leveling up, say, a, level 20 dragon instead of a level 1 dragon, you're going to waste a lot more food, and you don't want to be wasting food. Then we got winning battles, which also should be pretty self-explanatory. Any battle that you do on the map will give you points. You can also get points by doing arena fights, which is a way that you can, if you don't have enough, say, portal energy, and you don't want to waste any portal gems, then you can go and do your arena fights. And plus, really, you should be doing your arena fights anyway, because they give enchantment mats, but that gives 25 points per battle complete. So, including those arena fights, you should be able to get all of the winning battles points. The only time when it really becomes difficult is in events where we can get like 800 currency per quest per reset, in which case some players that haven't leveled up their portal are probably going to really struggle. But again, that does depend, because we used to get a lot of castle events in the past. Well, we had a few where the points that we could get would be the same on every level, but then they changed it back to the old formula, which is the higher the level you're on, the more points you can get per task. So we've had like 2 different versions of castle events over time. I prefer the other version, the one where the points stay the same at every level, because that means that it's less RNG, because, if you aren't relying on key RNG, then all that you have to do is just log in, which was very player friendly. Probably the reason why it got removed, but I digress. But with the catching creatures, you've probably seen, or I guess haven't seen, that there's no creatures on my islands. It can be really gimmicky and finicky trying to get the creatures to spawn in. Sometimes restarting your game helps, sometimes just waiting around helps, sometimes they just won't spawn in consistently. It's still one of the most annoying castle event quests, because it's just not really worked for years. But, basically they're supposed to spawn in over time. So sometimes keeping your game open will work, sometimes just giving it a quick restart works. Keep all of that in mind, but you should see them floating around every now and then, but clearly none have spawned. Oh, actually they have. I was going to say none have spawned in, but clearly they have. You're blind. But you'll see that they're like they almost blend in with the background. They're kind of difficult to see. But, try a few different things if they don't spawn in for you. Again, keep your game open, or just restarting the game quick sometimes works. I guess the game just wanted to make fun of me for saying that they hadn't spawned in then, and then spawning them in. So, screw me, I guess. I take it back, game. But, genuinely, they could be a little bit annoying. So, I'm just warning you now. But, I digress. Coming back, we are back on level 2. We need to continue on our chest opening journey here. We got another battle, which, again, my team right here is pretty much perfect for these battles on level 2. But the time when it really becomes important is sort of on the last 2 levels. So if you have to skip battles in the last 2 levels, that becomes very, very costly very quickly. So, for now, I don't know if we're going to be able to open up another chest. I don't think we will, but we will be able to make our way towards a new chest, which is very nice. And again, this level, I think it's just cheaper to take on the chests as you go through the level, so it's quite a simple level. You don't really have to pick out specific chests to go for or anything like that. But on top of this, the most important thing to remember, if you want to complete these events, is that you need to log in every 6 hours and do all of those quests. If you do not do all of those quests, well, you're probably not going to finish the event. Usually castle events give about 2 days of reset leeway, but you never know. This event, towards level 5 and 6, it could cost a ridiculous amount. So even though we've got 7 days to do this event, you may only have a day, or at max, say 2 days spare in total for the whole event. So you don't want to be missing resets if you can help it. If you're going to miss at least 1 reset a day, you'll probably be cutting it very, very close, or you may not be able to do the event. I'm just pre-warning you of that right now. Because I know that a lot of people don't want to log in for, say, the nightly reset, or maybe they're not allowed, like maybe their technology gets turned off at a certain time. In that case, you may not be able to do the event. You may do. It depends on the balancing of the final few levels, and of course we don't have that yet. So that is my pre-warning to you. Let's open up this sigil chest. What do we get? You know, a green wonder. That's okay. On top of that, we do also have other things going on this week. So we've got Bottomless Dungeon, which, you know, I did a lot of grinding last week. But in this dungeon, we've got things like the Helper Dragon. We do also have double egg relics. We've got realm pieces. We've got premium sigil chest, which I'm definitely going to open up. And Blue Daredevil. You know what? That's actually not too bad. Blue Acceptance would have been nicer, but Blue Daredevil is also fine. And because we can still get Divine tickets, you should still be doing as many brawls as possible. But do remember you can also get your hands on Candy Cane. So if you do want to get Candy Cane, you will need to be opening up those chests as well. And remember that if you open up 15 chests, you will be guaranteed to get Candy Cane. The difference between this week and last week's dungeon, you will probably work out after, say, you see a few waves. And if you didn't know, on the DML wiki, there's actually a list of every single dungeon set of opponents. So after you see sort of the first couple of waves, you'd be able to check the DML wiki and know what dungeon week it is. But you'll see that at the beginning we had some plant dragons, which is always scary because plant dungeons, especially for a team like mine, are quite bad. Any team that only has one healer, and any team that only has one healer and the shielder being on the same dragon, has an even harder time against plant dragons and damage over time dragons. So how good you can do in a dungeon week does a lot of the time come down to your own individual team. But, you know, since I grinded so much last week, I'm not too worried about this week. But I should still be coming in and doing a reset every 6 hours, or as close to every 6 hours as I can make it. Because even though I've got, like, what is it, nearly 1,500 holy talismans, I still need to be grinding like everyone else. Because otherwise, even if I grinded in that first week, I'm not guaranteed the second dragon right now. And on top of that, I also wanted to get Poseidon. So if I finally want to get Poseidon, I do need to still be grinding. So, just like last week, grind, we continue on. And that is what these events are about. It's like, you think you grinded a lot of dungeon last week? Well, get prepared to grind some more, because you're not done. Or if you do choose to be done, you may not actually get anything of value out of the event. So, it's always something you got to keep in mind when you're doing this. I think maybe I'll end up waiting out on these servers, because it seems like there's a delay between when I do anything. Again, when events start in DML, it's very rare that we won't have server issues, and apparently on APA the servers were down before I even started recording this, which does not surprise me. But, you know, I hope that you don't encounter any server rollbacks, which do happen, unfortunately, quite often with this game. And that basically means that, you know, you'll log in to do the event, you'll collect all of your event currency, you'll do a dungeon run, and then the servers will kick you out. And then you have to do it all again, because it's removed all of the stuff that you just collected. Why this hasn't been fixed yet after so long, this has probably been going on for like a year and so many months now. Like, really noticeably. But no, they just don't fix it. I guess. I guess that's a thing. I mean, you do you, APA, but if I was playing on APA, there is no way I'd still be playing this game. I know I've said that before, but I'm genuinely telling the truth. I would not be playing this game if my game was this inconsistent. But, anywho, I'm not going to do too much grinding right now, because we can come back in another, 10 minutes, do some more grinding. So I'm not too worried about how many KOs or how many points I get in the first couple of resets. You can worry about it, but usually getting to a higher KO bonus will give you more rewards. So I'm not too fussed about the actual score that we get for the first few rounds. But generally, if you can get about 30-ish, like 30 something KOs in your first reset, and then if you can get nearish 40 in the second, your dungeon team's probably okay. May not be the best dungeon team ever made, but generally speaking, that tends to be the numbers that people get to when they've got, you know, a decent team that has all of the pieces that they need. Like, you know, the water, the earth, the divine, all that sort of thing. Like, I'm at 30 right now, which means that these enemies will probably start decimating me in a second, which is fine, which is also the reason why I want to keep my metal up if I can, because then every time they attack me, they're going to take lots of damage. So that's another reason why Erlang Shen is really, really handy for me. Because even though Erlang Shen technically could easily be replaced with some other better dragon, he does still have metal, and he can still be useful in a lot of situations, and plus, his void means that I can suck up any shields along with the energy that Ikez has. So, that is my logic with my dungeon team. If I could change it, would I? Yes. Yes. If there was a reset button in DML that allowed you to, you know, change the resources, or like, you say, I want to remove the resources off of this dragon and give them to a different dragon. You know, why is there not a feature or a way to do that? Even if they made it paid only, like a couple of dollars, I imagine lots of people would buy it. Just saying, Gameloft, you got a monetary opportunity there. Just saying, but maybe they don't want people to be able to change their teams when they're at my level, like at my stage in the game with like level 115. So maybe they just want us to suffer. It's definitely possible, right? But I guess the TLDR on the events this week is make sure you're logging in every 6 hours to do the castle event. Make sure you're logging in every 6 hours to do dungeon. And those are the main major events for this week. So if you're doing those two things, you're basically doing what you need to for this current Divine Fest. That's pretty much all that you can really do. You know, do whatever you can, see what you can get. If you don't have a good dungeon team, you're gonna suck for now, but you can always make one day. Don't feel too defeatist. Like, genuinely, lots of people go, oh my god, I'm a new player, so I can't do well in these events. It's like, yes you can. 100% you can. 100% you can. But this is going to be our demise. I don't really see any way out of this within the next 2 sets of turns, so we are just going to watch as our dragons get decimated. Very sad. I could have gone for a couple more KOs, but 38 is fine for me. But once again, if we open up these chests, you'll see that in every chest you should be offered divine tickets. If you are ever offered 100 gems or like 50 gems, make sure you take the gems, because you could just do another dungeon reset with that many gems and probably get more points. So there's only at a certain point when, you know, there's quite a lot of gems available in the chest where you wouldn't be taking divine tickets. I have mentioned this before, but this week in dungeon, either you take the divine tickets or you take big gem counts, and there's pretty much no difference from that unless you are desperate for, say, a relic and you find one in that big chest at the end, because I believe that relics can still appear in there even in this week. But let's open up this final green chest for now. 3 divine tickets, and that's going to do us for now. So, one other thing I will point out, because this is the second week of the event, you'll notice that the divine chests do say that they're going to be leaving in 6 days and 23 hours, and that is true. Which means that this week you need to be using every single ticket that you have. If you don't use every single ticket, oh my god, a times 50. If you don't use every single ticket that you have by the end of this week, your tickets will disappear. Your holy talismans won't disappear, So that's the reason why you can trade in all of your tickets. Oh my god, another times 50. Like this. So just keep using them all. And then make sure that you see how many holy talismans you've got. And then you can actually use the holy talismans whenever you want to. But you need to use all of your tickets by the end of this week. And of course with the castle event, you can get lots of tickets from the castle event, like 25, 20, 15, 5. I say a lot, an okay amount. But make sure you use them this week, otherwise they will disappear. And just like the last Divine Fest, I imagine I'm going to get many messages from people saying, oh my god, what happened to my tickets? I thought that I could have them the whole event. No, the holy talismans are going to stay for the whole event. And the dragons that are in the altar are going to stay for the entire event. But your divine tickets will not. So spend them. There's no real need to hoard the divine tickets. You can hoard the talismans, don't hoard the tickets. Also, I love the fact that I've got 1,691 talismans. That is very cool. But I think I'm going to be buying Amaterasu as soon as he becomes available. But you know, the sooner that I get to 2,400 talismans, the happier I will feel about this event. And I just need a few more pieces to get Poseidon too. So that should be coming up in the near future. Especially if this dungeon week is okay for me. But having lots of plant dragons, not a good sign. Never a good sign when I start seeing plant dragons in the dungeon. Fire dungeons, I'm a big fan of those. Plant dungeons, no thank you. I would have a lot of other things. Void dungeons also suck. Shadow dungeons also suck because they frighten you or they void suck you. Or energy that just decimates you, burns you to death. It's not nice. It's not nice at all. But we do have Sprucey as the Dragon of the Week as well, so good luck if you're trying to breed him. And we do have a Breeding Blitz event that's supposed to happen soon, so good luck if you are going for that. But in terms of DML, for me, I'm mainly just going to be focusing on Dungeon and Castle event. So log in every 6 hours, do those quests, go further in the levels, get Prana, get Isis. I was going to say get something, I'm not going to say that. Anyway, thank you for joining me. If you do need any other tips, let me know. But for now, thank you, and good day.